It is as someone who was an editor for a long time, I thoroughly enjoy terrible writing. And a baby monster sent this in from the Athens Messenger. And first of all, look at the guy. Thank you, Athens County. You made my story complete. And this is the sports editor who looks like he had a lobotomy like an hour ago. I don't know where did you go to Sears for that photograph, Eric? But he says things like, not only I was able to tell the stories of some of the most historic moments in the school's illustrious history. That's a sentence. That fateful day in December at Ford Field in 2024 will never be forgotten, comma, I am honored to be the scribe who spoke of the story, something over 50 years in the making. What? I mean, you could just dip your toes anywhere in. Just stop. So, if you have ever been part of this journey or spoken to me during my time here, thank you too. The people who truly impacted me, like feces, and became close friends, know who they are, comma, I'll never forget those people, and truly hope to stay in communication in the future. Are you African? Is this your second language? Another fantastic example of terrible writing is, wow. This article is real. I've checked it out. I researched the whole site. I spent like 2 hours reading almost everything on this site. It might be the dumbest thing I've ever seen, ever. And I've seen some dumb shit. Like that guy when I said, the only deal breaker we have with women is very thinning hair and then meatless tits. And the guy goes, man boobs. That was the same guy who hates the Geico caveman commercials because cavemen don't exist. And he literally said, when was the last time you saw a caveman? Again, I'm cannibalizing my set. Okay, so click on this. It's right below the new type of garbage writing. Are you ready for this? Hold on to your hats, folks. So you know how, and it's a very weird thing I don't understand. I can't figure this out. But when people do DMT, they all seem to have the same hallucination, which is like having the same dream. Oh, I got to tell you about a dream invention I had. So they're called machine elves, and they're hardworking little elves who are working on machines. This guy's discovered that a lot of these elves, which again, do not exist, a lot of them are racist.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
Hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
And together we're Compound Censored.
And we would like you to subscribe with this deal using this promo code right below me right now.
Do it, because it's very entertaining.
And black people have reported abuse from the machine elves. So this guy's takeaway is not, wow, we are so fucking paranoid that even we see, I mean, talk about hallucinating racism. It's literally what's happening here. But instead of some self-reflection and going, maybe I'm nuts and I'm seeing racism when there isn't, they are mad at the goblins and they want to figure out what they can do about this. No, I'm not joking. Now, there's a line in it where he goes, one person reported the first trip was good, but their second trip took a turn for the worse. This time, instead of the sacred, I was greeted with the profane and saw cartoons of racist caricatures mocking me. They were malevolent, and I felt like I could die. As much as the first trip was welcoming and accepting, the second trip was pushing me away, and I felt a strong sense of no. So they're mad. I know this is crazy. They are mad at hallucinations. This is a level of idiocracy formerly unheard of. No, go back to the article because there's one, they get specific. Okay, the most chilling experience, Emmett Till, the trip report being that I later learned that Emmett Till, I didn't know who Emmett Till was.
What?
I later learned he's a black man who was beaten up. I'd never heard this story before. Being a black man, grew up in a white district, blah, blah. They all picked me up and started chanting the N-word while carrying me. The elves threw me down a black hole, and I had to stay there for around 10 minutes until my trip ended. So they're violently abused in their trips. Look up one of the machine elves, but they go, oh, great, that is back. Goblins, little elves, machine elves said that. And the guy, instead of, I know I'm repeating myself, but instead of him going, what is the matter with us? Like, that's like getting mad at the mirror. No, machine elves are not racist. They're hallucinations, you loser. And the writing is really bad too. Like, go back to it. Okay, so I can't read that, Sean. You know how it works here. One possible explanation for racist incidents while taking DMT is that the occurrences of racist DMT entities isn't merely coincidental. Considering the Latinx origin of deity and Ashkawaza, whatever that stuff's called, ayahuasca, it completely made the reign of, can you just read that?
Yeah. Outside the realm of possibility that these racist entities are extensions of conflicts happening in the everyday realm, a sort of spiritual turf war going on between the Black and Latinx community. Let me just, I think, yeah.
What are you talking about? Like, it gets crazier as you read it. Internalized depression. Yeah, it's internalized, all right. The DMT entities then dance to their subconscious time. His black face melted minstrel shows of old. So they start mocking me with minstrel shows. Are they AI?
What?
Like, it's the dumbest thing I've ever read. It's a new type of garbage we're investigating on the show. The other weird thing, though, is their T-shirts seem kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like Ted Bundy and stuff. This guy's pretty bad, too. So there's this rumor that the first president of the United States wasn't George Washington. It was a black man named John Hansen. Because back before we even had, the Declaration of Independence and all that, we had like these makeshift monarchs, basically, who were the head of the Congressional Honors Society or something. And one of them was named John Hansen. Now, the black guy there, John Hansen, he was a politician in Liberia. Nothing to do with the white guy on the right. So it's like a race typo, but that wasn't called a president. The guy didn't, it was just what's the word? A role, a courtesy role kind of thing. But go up a bit. Who's this guy, the writer? This is by brother student minister Nuri Muhammad with the NOI Research Group. There are a lot of myths that we've been burdened with in the name of history. Washington cutting down cherry trees. What? He didn't do that? Lincoln freeing the slaves. That's not true. Savage Indians. They're pretty savage. Happy slaves, just to name a few. Many of these lies are propagated by movies and television, but many of these deliberate falsehoods have been found in the history of textbooks of our own children's schools. One white professor named James Lowen studied the 12 leading high school American history textbooks and concluded that we were marred by an embarrassing combination of blind patriotism, mindless optimism, sheer misinformation, and outright lies. He found so much deception, fabrication, and falsehood that he wrote a 400-page book titled Lies My Teacher Told Me. Everything your American history textbook got wrong. So does he think that the story of John is one of the legends that have permeated our black consciousness, and it's easy to see why? Many have claimed that Hansen was the first president of the United States, not George Washington, and they say he was a black man. Could it be the founding fathers of America had to rely on a black man to lead them out of the darkness of a European monarchy? And what black person wants to claim the role or position of George Washington, a Virginia-born Caucasian who enslaved at least... Okay, this is getting boring. But yeah, garbage writing is funny. It amuses me. Speaking of which, we're kind of straying from the garbage theme here. If you go to Idiocracy, before the new type of garbage, witches are becoming a thing. And people are going on Etsy and paying for them. Now, I'm sick of everyone always saying people. Can I see these people? Etsy witches charge for jobs. Sunshine and Nick's wins. Business is booming. Some spells promise love, success, and revenge. $24 for a tax refund and a boyfriend. Again, witches don't exist. That's magic. Magic is not a thing. And I want to see the kind of losers who are doing this. I'm sort of assuming that it's immigrants. It's Hispanics, voodoo, Haitians. Jamudi Pereira spent all spring looking for a retail job, but no luck. So she got a witch. Some of her friends bought Etsy spells during finals. She isn't an ardent believer in witchcraft, but does believe in manifesting, the ritual of envisioning desired outcomes. The day the witch, this is what happens when you let religion die. They go find it somewhere else. Now we're not praying to God, we're paying a witch. And you know what I learned? I think this was yesterday. Did you know fortune telling is illegal?
I did not know that.
Go to the next link. It's a misdemeanor, which is weird because on Boston Post Road, there's a fortune telling little house. Like there's a residence, and then in the front there's a mini house, like a giant shed kind of a house. And that's illegal. Long Island psychic charged under little-used New York anti-fortune-telling law after allegedly scamming a woman out of $62K. You deserve to lose your money if you do that. Who is she? Let's see her. So is that the guy?
Guy, I guess.
This is immigration.
I don't think we see.
But go to the opening paragraph. A self-proclaimed Long Island psychic was charged with grand larceny and fortune-telling, a little-used misdemeanor in New York, after allegedly scamming a senior citizen out of tens of thousands of dollars. Hermath Kumar Munepa spotted the alleged scam as the victim, who had already been billed for $20,000, was trying to withdraw $42,000 more to pay for psychic services. What the fuck is happening to this country? These immigrants, they talk about a brain drain and how we take all the smart guys out of India and then India is left with a stupidity problem. I don't think that's the case anymore. We're getting all their dummies. And that's both the psychic and his victim. Like, I don't want you here. I don't like your shit. You're fucking stupid. Well, speaking of stupid, remember that dream I had where, again, I'm cannibalizing the comedy show, where I said, how many people want money? 8. And I thought that's the funniest thing ever in the world.
Yes.
Well, I had another dream. Now, the thing about Cooperstown is you're standing outside in 80 to 90 degree heat. And if you're Scots-Irish, we're not meant to do that. So not only do you burn to a crisp, but your butthole is in hell as you sweat and get swamp ass. So ideally at night, you spread your cheeks and you get a nice breeze going up your ass crack and drying it out. You could put toilet paper in there and stuff, but it doesn't seem very effective. It over dries it. Ideally, you want nature to take its course. So you put your leg up on your wife, and that gets your butthole some air. But, eventually you put your leg back down again, and now it's sealed, and it's not healing. It's not aerating out. And I remember we were on a road trip in Canada with my dad, and they were talking about this phenomenon, I believe. And the woman said, just make sure you're alone in the room and open the window, get a nice breeze going, and separate your buttocks and dry it out with some wind. And my dad goes, why is she telling us to make sure that we're alone in the room? Like, that's none of your business. I'll handle whether people can come in or out. I don't think it's part of the criteria to make sure I'm alone in the room. But anyway, I thought, what about some sort of a disc that you could use to keep your butt cheeks separate? Now, I've done some sketches here, and I'm dreaming all this, by the way. And the first sketch, it looked like, Hot Wheels track where the plastic part melts them together sort of thing, melds them together. So I took that and I drilled holes in it, and then you just wedge that in your butt cheeks. texted you these pictures. And then I thought, that's embarrassing. And say you're dating a girl. So A and B are your butt cheeks. And then that disc with the sort of teeth, rubber teeth on the side, it keeps it in place. So your butt cheeks are separate and you're getting wind on it, right? But then I thought, some girl comes over and you have a pack of those in your medicine cabinet. It's embarrassing. So just like sex toys, sometimes will be like, it'll look like a nutcracker or something. So if someone finds it, it's not as embarrassing as like a big black cock with veins on it. I thought, okay, well, you need to redesign this. So I don't know if you're familiar with the old-timey snowshoes. You have to be a certain age to know these. So they're called snowshoes, and they're little plastic snowshoes that you could have on an action figure. Now, snowshoes are they look very different now. They're sort of like cloth straps now. But in the old days, it was like cat gut or something, or beaver guts. And they were a cross, like they were a mesh. So now it's called snowshoes, and the logo is a guy walking in the snow. And all we say is, time to get anal about your health. And you wedge this in between your butt cheeks. It's not very big, by the way. It's like twice the size of your thumb. And the mesh allows for wind to come in and dry out your butthole at night. So I woke up the next morning, because in my dream I was like, oh my God, I've reinvented dental floss. Like Johnson & Johnson, I assume, is going to buy it off me. They'll be the first to. I'll be like Terrence Howard talking about my patents. And it's a new path in my life. I guess I'm an anal health person.
Oh, that's so disgusting.
No, it's not. There's no poo involved. Like, your butt is clean when you're doing all this. It's just, humid. And when I woke up, I laughed at how stupid that idea was. And I was like, this is the same as how many people want money, 8. But then I started thinking about it more. Now I'm back. I'm back to snowshoes. I think it's a fantastic invention. And my son, my 16-year-old, is always a cynic. He's like, it would slip. Wouldn't even stay in place. He has the same butt I have, and my father had, and my grandfather. Our butt cheeks are very flat together. We're tight asses. It's not a good place to be. And I'm like, no, I got those grips on the side. It's very grippy. So maybe you could help me with the design of the box. I think it's going to look, you get like 50 in a bag, plastic bag, transparent bag, and then it says snowshoes on the top, and there's a little cartoon guy walking in the snow. Time to get anal about our health.
So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.